All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at this Guillain-Barré Syndrome outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
That's been happening in Pune, India.
Absolutely.
And, this is something that you flagged for us. And you sent over some really interesting articles on this, and I think it's worth a deep dive.
Absolutely.
This is something that is actively happening right now as of January 27th, 2025.
Yes, very timely.
So yeah, I think this is something that we can really dig into.
Definitely.
So Guillain-Barré Syndrome, or GBS, as I'm sure most people know, is a rare disorder in which your body's immune system attacks your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is pretty serious stuff.
Absolutely. It can lead to paralysis.
Yeah.
It can even be fatal in some cases.
Yeah, and we're seeing that potentially already play out in this outbreak. So one of the articles that you sent over was from the Indian Express,
right?
Which is a reputable Indian news outlet.
Yes.
And, it's painting a pretty alarming picture here. We're seeing over 100 cases already, confirmed cases.
As of January 27th, there are 101 confirmed cases.
Wow. And even a potential fatality that could be linked to this outbreak.
Yeah. And there's another 18 suspected cases that are under investigation.
So this thing is spreading, and it's pretty serious.
And it's serious because 16 of the confirmed cases are on ventilators.
Yeah. I mean, that's really scary.
Yeah.
So, okay, we see over 100 cases, but who exactly is being affected by this outbreak?
Right.
Like, what are the demographics that we're seeing here?
Well, the article breaks it down, and it's actually a pretty wide range of people.
Right.
We're talking children as young as under 9.
Wow.
All the way up to someone in their 70s.
Really? So it's not like it's an age-specific thing?
No, not at all.
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and if you break it down by gender, 68 of the cases are male and 33 are female.
Okay, so it seems like it's affecting men a little bit more.
Slightly more, yeah, but still a significant number of women.
Yeah, for sure.
And geographically speaking, 81 of the cases are from Pune Municipal Corporation.
Okay.
14 are from Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, and 6 are from other districts.
Okay, so it seems like it's somewhat localized still.
Yeah, it seems to be concentrated in the Pune area.
Okay, so what about the potential causes? I mean, what are investigators looking into here?
Right, well, one of the initial theories is contaminated water.
Okay.
Which has been linked to GBS outbreaks in the past.
Yeah.
So authorities in Pune have already started testing water samples for both chemical and biological contaminants.
Okay, so that seems like that's a pretty high up there on the list.
Definitely one of the main things they're looking at.
Okay. Have they ruled anything else out?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Blood tests have ruled out dengue, Zika, and chikungunya.
Okay, so it's not any of those.
No.
But the stool sample findings
yes.
are where it gets kind of interesting.
Very.
So what did those stool samples reveal?
Well, out of 11 stool samples that were tested, 9 of them were positive for norovirus.
Norovirus.
Yeah.
Okay, so is norovirus linked to Guillain-Barré at all?
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out.
Okay.
Norovirus is known for causing those nasty stomach bugs.
Yeah.
But its potential link to GBS is still being investigated.
So it's possible, but we don't know for sure.
Right. It's just a possible connection at this point.
Okay.
Now, what's even more interesting is that 3 of those norovirus positive samples also tested positive for Campylobacter jejuni bacteria.
Campylobacter jejuni. Now, that's a mouthful.
It is.
For those of us who aren't, microbiologists,
right.
What is that exactly?
Well, Campylobacter is a common bacteria that's often found in contaminated food and water.
Okay.
And like norovirus, it usually causes gastrointestinal problems.
Okay.
But the fact that it showed up alongside norovirus in these GBS patients raises some eyebrows.
Yeah.
Could one or both of these be contributing to this outbreak? That's what researchers are digging into.
Okay, so it seems like they're really leaving no stone unturned.
Absolutely.
With this investigation.
They're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, they're sending a central team of health officials to Pune.
Right.
Is that typical for GBS outbreaks, or does that indicate they think something more serious is going on?
Well, it definitely highlights how seriously the Indian government is taking this.
Okay.
Having a central team on the ground means they can monitor the situation very closely, analyze data in real time, and coordinate efforts with local authorities.
Okay.
It also suggests that they're open to the possibility that this might be more than a typical GBS outbreak.
Yeah, so we've got a rapidly growing number of cases,
right?
Possible link to contaminated water, these 2 pathogens.
Yep.
and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
what are the next steps in getting to the bottom of this?
That's a great question. And I think the immediate focus, got to be containment.
Yeah.
This central health team, they're going to be working hard to identify the source of the outbreak,
right.
Whether that's contaminated water or food or even something else. And they'll also be implementing measures to prevent further spread, things like increased sanitation efforts, public health advisories, or maybe even temporary restrictions on movement.
Right. It's all about trying to get ahead of it before it spreads even further.
Exactly.
Yeah. While all that's happening, though, there are people who are, dealing with this illness.
Right.
It's easy for us to talk about the numbers and the science and, all of that. But what is it like for the people who are actually on the ground in Pune?
Well, it's going to be a pretty stressful time. I mean, imagine you start feeling weak. You have some tingling in your limbs.
Right.
And you're thinking, is this just a cold?
Yeah.
Or is this something much worse?
Or my patient 102.
Exactly. The anxiety alone can be really debilitating.
Absolutely. And for those who are actually diagnosed with GBS,
right.
It's not just those physical symptoms that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
From what I've read, GBS can require long-term care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even after those initial symptoms go away.
Yeah, you're looking at hospitalization, rehabilitation, which can be very disruptive to life and very expensive.
Yeah, and not to mention the emotional toll.
Of course.
On the patient and their family.
Absolutely. A huge burden to bear.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to the individuals who are sick, right?
Right.
Like this kind of outbreak has ripple effects throughout the entire community.
Exactly. I mean, think about the impact on businesses.
Yeah.
They might have to operate with reduced staff if employees are either sick or caring for sick loved ones.
Right.
Schools could face disruptions.
Yeah.
And just that the overall feeling of well-being in the community takes a hit.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is.
And this is all happening, against the backdrop of a global pandemic.
Right.
Which has already put a strain on healthcare systems.
Oh, absolutely.
And, created this climate of heightened anxiety.
For sure.
It's a lot for any community to cope with.
It really is. But, it's important to acknowledge the resilience of the people of Pune.
Yeah.
We're seeing reports and on social media that they're facing this challenge head on.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Neighbors helping each other, community organizations providing support, medical teams working tirelessly.
Absolutely. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see that kind of community spirit in action.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming.
So we've talked about the local impact.
Right.
But, this outbreak also has implications for global health security.
It does.
GBS is not unique to India.
Right.
So what can we learn from this situation that might apply elsewhere?
Well, I think this outbreak really underscores how interconnected our world is. With travel becoming more and more accessible,
right,
diseases can spread really quickly.
Yeah.
Cross borders. I mean, what starts as a local outbreak can become a global concern very, very quickly.
It's like that old saying, no man is an island.
Right.
Right. Yeah. But in today's world, no country is an island either when it comes to health threats.
Right. This outbreak is a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It's reminding us that we can't be complacent.
Right.
We need strong international collaboration.
Okay.
We need robust surveillance systems and rapid response mechanisms to contain these outbreaks before they become pandemic.
Yeah. It's like having a fire extinguisher in your kitchen.
Exactly.
I hope you never need to use it.
Right.
But you're sure glad it's there if a fire breaks out.
Exactly. We need to be prepared for the unexpected. And that means investing in the infrastructure and the research to protect global health. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and making sure we have the tools and the knowledge to respond to these emerging health threats.
So this outbreak also brings up this link between our environment and human health.
It does.
We've talked about contaminated water as a possible cause.
Yeah.
But what other environmental factors could be at play here?
Well, while investigators are focusing on contaminated water in this outbreak, it's important to remember that a lot of environmental factors can impact our health.
Yeah.
I mean, climate change, pollution, deforestation.
Yeah.
All these things can weaken our immune systems and make us more susceptible to diseases like GBS.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It is.
Protecting our planet isn't just about conservation.
Right.
It's about protecting human health as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
We need to adopt sustainable practices.
Yeah.
We need to reduce our environmental footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to prioritize the health of our ecosystems.
Right.
By doing so, we're creating a healthier, more resilient future for ourselves and for future generations.
It's about recognizing that we're all part of this intricate web of life.
We are.
And understand that our actions have consequences.
Absolutely.
That extend beyond just ourselves.
Well said.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
okay,
let's consider what we can take away from this GBS outbreak in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
What lessons can we learn, and how can we apply them to future challenges?
That's a great question.
What are your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, I think we really need to strengthen our public health infrastructure.
Okay.
At all levels.
Okay.
Local, national, and global.
So we're talking about investing in things like disease surveillance,
Yeah.
early warning systems,
Absolutely.
rapid response capabilities.
Yes. Making sure that we have the resources and the systems in place to detect and respond to these outbreaks very, very quickly.
Okay, so being prepared, essentially.
Exactly.
All right. What else?
Well, we also need to prioritize research to better understand GBS and other emerging diseases. The more we know, the better we'll be able to prevent and treat them.
So knowledge is power.
It really is.
In this case.
It is.
Okay. What else?
And finally, we need to promote individual and community resilience.
Okay.
And that includes raising awareness about GBS, encouraging healthy habits, and fostering a sense of shared responsibility for public health.
So empowering individuals and communities to take an active role in protecting their health.
Yes.
And the health of those around them.
That's right.
All right. So working together.
We can create a more resilient and healthy future for everyone.
Now, in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to shift gears and explore the research being done on GBS and discuss the ongoing efforts to address this outbreak in Pune. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit here and dive into the research that's being done on GBS. What are scientists doing to kind of unravel these mysteries and combat this outbreak?
Well, researchers are really tackling this from all angles. One of the big questions they're trying to answer is this potential link between GBS and the norovirus and Campylobacter jejuni.
Right.
That we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Are they actually triggering GBS, or are they just, coincidental infections?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's where these advanced lab techniques and epidemiological studies come in.
Okay.
Scientists are analyzing the genetic makeup of these viruses and bacteria, comparing them to samples from other outbreaks, and looking for any unique characteristics that could point to a connection.
So they're digging deep into the DNA of these bugs.
Yeah, trying to see if there's anything unusual about them that could explain why some people who get infected with norovirus or Campylobacter go on to develop GBS.
And they're not stopping there, right?
No, they're also studying the immune response of GBS patients, looking for specific patterns or triggers that could shed light on how this disorder develops.
So it's kind of like trying to understand the body's language.
Yeah, it is.
When it comes to GBS.
What's setting off the alarm bells,
Right.
What's causing the immune system to go haywire?
Yeah, what's making it attack the nerves?
Exactly. And the answers to those questions are crucial for developing better treatments and prevention strategies.
So if we can pinpoint the mechanism.
Right. If we can figure out exactly how these pathogens are contributing to GBS, then we can potentially develop vaccines or therapies to stop that process.
So break the chain.
Exactly. Yeah. Break the chain, stop the pathogens from triggering GBS, and you stop the outbreak.
Makes sense. But it's not just about understanding the causes, right?
No.
Researchers are also working on new treatments.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of research going on in that area.
So what are some of the things that they're looking into?
Well, right now, the treatment options are pretty limited.
Okay.
It's mostly supportive care and therapies that try to modulate the immune response.
So basically trying to calm down the immune system.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So it stops attacking the nerves.
Exactly.
Okay. But there's got to be some new stuff on the horizon, right?
Oh, yeah. Scientists are exploring new, more targeted approaches.
Like what?
Well, for example, they're looking into immunotherapies that can very precisely target the parts of the immune system that are involved in GBS.
So kind of like a more precise weapon.
Exactly. Instead of just trying to calm down the entire immune system, they can target the specific cells that are causing the problem.
That makes sense. What else?
They're also investigating the potential of stem cell therapies to repair the nerve damage caused by GBS.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, stem cells are amazing.
Yeah.
They have the potential to regenerate all sorts of tissues.
So there's a lot of hope for the future then.
There is. It's important to remember that developing new treatments takes time.
Yeah.
But the potential rewards are huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So speaking of working towards the future and addressing this outbreak, what about the collaborative efforts that are happening right now in Pune?
Well, it's been really inspiring to see the level of collaboration and coordination in response to this outbreak. Local health authorities are working closely with national and international organizations.
So everyone's coming together?
They are. It's a global effort.
Wow.
The World Health Organization is providing technical assistance and monitoring the situation. Medical teams from different countries are sharing their expertise and resources.
Wow, that's amazing.
Research institutions around the world are collaborating to advance our understanding of GBS.
So it really is a team effort.
It is. We're all in this together.
Yeah, when it comes to protecting human health.
Absolutely.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the GBS outbreak in Pune, what are the key takeaways you want our listener to walk away with?
Well, I think first and foremost, this outbreak is a reminder that infectious disease outbreaks are still a very real threat.
Yeah.
Even in our modern world, with all our technology and advancements in medicine.
Right. We can't get complacent.
We can't. We need to be vigilant and we need to be prepared.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
What else?
This outbreak also highlights the importance of research.
Right.
The more we learn about these diseases, the better equipped we'll be to prevent and treat them.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
Okay, and lastly?
This outbreak underscores the importance of international collaboration. We need to work together, share information, resources, expertise to effectively address these global health challenges.
We're all on the same team.
We are.
When it comes to protecting human health.
That's right.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the GBS outbreak in Pune. Obviously, this is a story that's still unfolding.
It is.
But hopefully this has given our listener a better understanding of what GBS is.
Yeah.
The complexities of this outbreak.
Right.
And the work that's being done to combat it.
And the amazing work that's being done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for joining us. And, stay curious, stay informed.
And stay well.
And we'll see you on our next deep dive.
See ya.